Welcome to the first video in Thematic Block 2. In previous learning blocks, we looked at the whole element of guidance and the role of teachers. We also looked at the concept of teacher present. This video looks at technologies that can support teacher presence. It's focused on achieving the learning outcome, identify a variety of practices to guide students, and the role of technology enhancing these practices. As Ramsden said, ultimately, the role of the teacher is to make learning possible. We already saw in Thematic Block 1, technology can enable teachers to enhance their presence and allow them to spend more quality interactions with their students, cognitively, socially, and emotionally. This thematic block will look at guidance tasks that can be enhanced using technology, allowing teacher to focus on student interactions and making learning possible for everyone in the classroom. In particular, we will look at how technology can enhance structured learning, supporting students' organisation, questioning, discussing, and emotional regulation. First of all, we will look at how technology can support teachers to structure learning, chunk information, and enhance student memory. One of the main roles of teachers is to structure learning or break it into manageable chunks so all learners can engage and apply learning to achieve the learning outcomes. This can take a lot of time and experimentation. Sometimes teachers are so familiar with a piece of content that they may miss important points to clarify. Using technologies to make suggestions or support the structure of learning can do this. We saw in the course Digital Teaching and Learning in an Age of Emerging Technologies how artificial intelligence can be used to support effective lesson planning and technology integration. AI can also be used to break down complex information into components so it can be comprehensively taught. A prompt that gives the task, for example, break the learning outcomes into smaller components, the context, who you're teaching, what age and what subject area, and the learning outcome can allow you to identify a structure for a lesson or content. For example, can you break this learning outcome into smaller components is the task, so it can be taught in the chemistry lesson to a class of 16-year-olds, provides the content and subject area. Explain the fundamental processes that occur in a mass spectrometer. This is the learning outcome. AI will give you a comprehensive breakdown of different structures that you can use to teach the lesson. You can test this to see if it's effective or not. In addition, some students can often miss oral instructions. This is due to poor working memory or students lacking executive functioning skills. Using technology to offer multimodal methods of structuring learning can support all learners to be included. Also, having a multimodal instructions allows students to refer back to them as needed. This is important, particularly for those students with poor working memory or who may have language difficulties. In addition, technology can enable instructions to be translated for some students that may not be fluent in the language the teacher is using. Tools such as live captioning in presentations, for example PowerPoint Live or Google Slides, videos that are captioned, YouTube allow you to add auto captions, and Vimeo can allow you to auto caption videos, and translation tools such as Office Lens and Google Lens allow students to translate content. The second task which technology can support teachers with is supporting executive function or organisation. In addition to poor working memory, some students struggle with organising tasks, completing tasks, or prioritisation. This can affect student-teacher relationships as teachers spend a lot of time trying to support these students and motivate them. Technology can enable teachers to empower learners to manage their own learning and organisation more effectively to allow them to spend time on more relational tasks. Examples of tools that can do this are learning management systems. These enable stronger teacher presence by providing clear instructions that can be accessed any time. Learning management systems such as Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams and Moodle also provide a centralised digital space for teachers to organise and make resources available, so students have one place where they go to access all information. This makes it easier for students with difficulties in executive functioning and organising to access information. Project management tools such as Microsoft To Do, Microsoft Planner, Trello, Padlet and Calendars allow further organisation. Teachers can model good practice by using these tools and explicitly showing students how to reference the inputs and organise tasks by themselves. There are further examples at the end of this lesson. Portfolios also provide a central location for students to organise their learning outputs. Teachers can provide templates to support students to organise their work. There are examples also at the end of this lesson. The next task that technology can enhance teacher presence is through questioning and discussion. Looking forward, technologies such as pedagogical agents, conversational agents, or dialogue-based tutoring systems can facilitate this. These are computer applications, usually AI-based, that direct learning through interacting with the students like a teacher to guide them. In general, they have been proven to have a positive impact on student learning. This is in research conducted by Schroeder et al. In 2013 and Zhang et al. In 2024. Pedagogical agents present content, provide prompts, and question. Some provide all of these functions, others just some. Over time, these have evolved to become more dialogical and engage with the learner verbally or by reading expressions and identify when to interact or engage with learners, and provide feedback to support the learning process. Research has found that the more human-like these agents behave, the more students engage with them. Students were more engaged with pedagogical agents when they explained concepts and encouraged students to engage with them via questions and asking students to explain their thought process. In addition, using AI chatbots to encourage critical thinking in real time and on an individual or group basis can enhance teacher presence. Encouraging chatbots to provide answers to students and also break down the concept and the reason for their answer is critical. In addition, questioning students about different scenarios on the data they provide enhances critical thinking and student learning. Examples of these are Duolingo Max and Khan Academy's Kanmengo, who use this approach. Recently, a framework by Noon provides a coding scheme to allow teachers to develop chatbots to facilitate the process. It involves the student giving a prompt, the chatbot making a claim about the prompt, and providing a reason for the explanation that supports their claim. The chatbot then asks the students a question. This can be used for individual consideration or group discussion. This needs to be considered by the teacher, which is pedagogically feasible or appropriate. Once the question is asked, there is discussion with the peer group on the question, or the student might reflect on the question and provide an answer. The student responds with an answer, and the chatbot probes further through another question. It's possible for teachers to develop their own chatbots. An example is playlab.ia that allows you to do this. So here you see a screenshot of Playlab AI. To the right, you will see how it's guided. They're an expert in teaching. The role is to guide and support the learners through the process, and the chatbot is talking to students aged 5 to 13. You will see, using the coding scheme, we've broke down the workflow. First, the chatbot is to ask the student for a prompt. After they respond, then they answer their prompt. Then they explain the answer or the reason for the answer. Next, the chatbot asks the student a question and encourages them to think further about the concept. Following this video, there will be an activity for you to engage in to develop your own chatbot using this coding schema. The next role which technology can support teachers with is supporting emotional regulation. If you leverage from technology to support some of the teacher tasks, you can spend time observing students and noting when they may be tired or frustrated. When you know students are tired or frustrated, using technology to provide a multimodal means of regulating them during these times is critical. Applications such as Smiling Mind, YouTube, Breathe, Think and Do by Sesame Street, digital journaling for gratitude, mood boards and visual timers that identify when students might need to transition between tasks may be able to support students. You can explore these further later if you wish. The last critical role of technology is to support communication, more specifically bi-directional communication, in which students can communicate with teachers as well as teachers communicating with students. One of the main roles of teachers is communicating, and often this can be one way. However, in order to build relationships, it's important that this happens in both directions. Technology can facilitate communication between class times, so it allows students to contact teachers outside of core lessons. It's important for shy students or for students who might be reluctant to ask support. Technology can do this or support it. In particular, Microsoft's Teams chat. This allows students to record videos and send it to their lecturer or teacher, or it allows you to record videos for individual students and send them. It also has a text feature. In addition, anonymous forums that allow students to ask questions at any stage without having to speak in class are suitable for shy students or those who are reluctant to ask for support. Proceed to the next activity to read further information about some of these strategies and try out some of these tools.